We have explained in some detail regarding Pidi Sambojinga and Pasadi Sambojinga. These two bojingas are wonderful experience of a meditator, which can be experienced in the progressive stage of meditation. These two are simultaneous in their occurrence. When passaddhi arises, piti also arises. In most cases, passaddhi is the first experience, then accompanied by piti sambojjhana. In order to experience and achieve such wonderful nature of meditation, a meditator needs to bring all the necessary mental conditions, especially those positive mental states known as puccina, to maturity, such as Dhamma Vijaya Sambojjhana, Viriya Sambojjhana, and Sati Sambojjhana and Samadhi Sambojjhana. These four are like constant sustainer of the progress. If a meditator can maintain these four bojjhangas and balance amount and proportionate conditions, his meditation practice will lead him to development of piti sambojjhana and passaddhi sambojjhana. In this way, a meditator makes substantial progress, even though he still needs to proceed on his practice. Some meditators, when they reach there, they usually stuck there because they enjoy their experience. That's why in Buddhist it is called the Vipassana, corruption of the Vipassana meditation. Actually, they are not corruption, but they can delay further progress if a meditator remains stuck there enjoying those experiences. Today, I would like to explain the piti sambojjhana a little bit because on the previous days, I left to explain various kinds of the piti bojjhana. Piti bojjhana has five kinds of piti bojjhana. I hope some of you may heard about it because Sridhar Saroji and other teachers may have already mentioned about them. Now let me explain this so that you can feel, you can know what kind of piti you have experienced. The first kind of piti is called the Kodika piti. Kodika is a noun with an enhancing suffix, a combination of two words, koda, ika. Koda means minor and lesser, ika related to or having characteristic of. It is very similar to English word equal, ICICL. So Kodika means lesser and minor rapture. When it arises, how the body experience and how it meditates, see it. And the commentary text, it is said, Sri Loma Hansa Madami Wagado Sakodi. It can cause some goosebumps generated by bodily calm and mental calm. And one start feeling a minus experience of the joys, mental joys, bodily goosebumps, not caused by fear and shock, but caused by wonderful nature of bodily calm and mental calm. In this stage, a meditator have minor feeling and such a chilling, minor feeling of joy, chills and thrills of joy, experience momentarily. This is called the Kodika PD. And second kind of PD is called the Kanika. In commentary, it is mentioned as Kane Kane Vajobhada Srida. This is the quotation in Pali. Kane Kane from moment to moment. Vajobhada Srida. It is like the fleshing of the lightning. So this means that when a meditator experiences this second stage of joy, he experienced the flesh of the joy happening in the body, inside the body. This is what Kanika Piti means. That kind of piti is all Aukantika. Aukantika. That Pali means a little bit simple. Aukanta ika. Aukanta means or downward. Kanda means moving. Ika means relating to or having characteristic. Having characteristic of moving downward or moving upward. In this case, commentary explanations are very clear. Samudra Dhiram Viji Viya Kayam Augamidoa Bhajadi. In this state of rapture, the meditator start feeling the wonderful waves of joy that occurs in the body. Wonderful waves of joy just come up and disappear. Another wave of rapture come up and it disappear. Regarding this, the commentary said, The waves of the sea, ocean, come from the ocean waters and bounce the beach continuously. In the same way, the rapture of joy come up and making the body like a beach. One start feeling the wave of joy all over in the body, especially in the stomach and the middle torso of the body. Some people, they have this experience. When this happens, tire joints is overwhelming them and engulfing both body and mind with the waves of joy, like the waves hitting the beach and the shore. This is what Augandika PD arise and how it arises. And the fourth kind of PD is called Obega PD. This Pali word is a combination of two words, U, Vega. U means upward. Vega means moving upward. The term itself is very clear. When this kind of PD happens, the body can't even move up. And the commentary itself, Palavadi Hodi, Kaya Udagan Gadwa, Linga Banatamat Samatha. This PD is very powerful and very powerful that it can lift up the body. In the commentary, one story is mentioned about a girl who was lifted up by her overwhelming joy and land her on the pagoda compounds during the very well-known pagoda festival and celebration. Now, the fifth PD is called Prana PD. Prana is a combination of dual pra and na. Pra means to spread, to be infused. When this happens, the whole body is infused with joy, infused with rapture. When this happens, it is the most powerful PD. And commentary, it explained that Prana Pidiya Bana Ubanaya Sagala Sariram Dhammadowa Burita Wuti Viya Mahada Udgogena Bakanda Babda Gosi Viya Anu Priputam Hodi. This explanation is very clear. When this infusion joy occurs in the whole body, it can create, the body is like a full balloon, whose the whole structure is filled with the very light water, very light air. The body is like full of the air. Very light, buoyant, and floating. No feel of the heaviness and discomfort. And another similar mention in the commentary is Mahada Udgogina Bakanda Babda Kochi we are like the mountain valley which is overwhelmed with the torrential currents of the water. And the whole body is like the mountain valley overwhelmed with the torrential currents of rainwater coming cascading down from the uphill. Anu Bripudan Hodi, the whole body is infused with the joy. This is how PD occurs in a meditator. What kind of results and benefit it can generate by having such kind of PT? This is a very important thing to explain. In the commentary, it mentioned that, let me quote, Sapanisa Panchawida Piti Kabang Kanandi Pribhagang Pichandi Duvidam Pasade Puredi. This five kind of rapture, when it becomes mature and gain momentum and power, can fulfill two kind of calm, both bodily calm and mental calm. Some meditators, they don't have the noticeable strong occurrence of PD. Only some small minor degree of rapture, such as flash of joy and feeling goosebumps and knowing there is no gross bodily nature, no physical bodily discomfort. So it depends on individual conditions. So when PD gains momentum and sustained power, it can help to develop pasadi, both pasadi, bodhikam and medhikam. Then that pasadi, bodhikam and medhikam can also lead to another consequence, another positive consequence. Regarding this, commentary explained that, let me quote, Pasadi gavan ganandi pribhagan gacchandi duvidam sukham pureti. When this bodily calm and mental calm reach maturity and accumulated sufficient amount of mature power and energy, it can generate happiness, bodily happiness and mental happiness. So Piti, Pasadi, Sukha, ecstatic joy, bodily calm and mental calm can lead to bodily happiness and mental happiness, or bodily peace and mental peace. Then it can lead to another positive consequence. Sukham Gavan Kanandi Gabanganandam, Pribagan Gichandam, Sividam, Dividam, Samadhi Buredi. When this bodily peace and mental peace reach maturity and accumulated sufficient power and energy, it can help to fulfill, sustain concentration of three kinds: momentary concentration, more sustained concentration, and more higher apana samadhi concentration. So a meditator should understand that these piti, passaddhi, sukha, and samadhis are interrelated and interdependent. In order to develop these four conditions, a meditator needs to maintain Dhamma-vicaya sambhojjhanga, Variya sambhojjhanga, and Sati sambhojjhanga, three. And Samadhi will come. Samadhi also sometimes may experience, but Dhamma-vicaya, Variya, Sati, these three are very important, basically necessary. As long as a meditator is practicing meditation, Dhamma-vicaya, noting action with a discerning knowledge, discerning understanding is necessary. Variya, making bodily effort and mental effort is necessary. Sati, mindfulness is necessary. Then it will slowly lead to more progress. Today I'm going to explain the remaining two bojjhangas, Samadhi Sambhojjhanga. Most of you may be quite familiar with the term Samadhi. To pass the word, it is a combination of four components. Sam, A, the, I. Sam means well, A means intensively and deeply. Da means being fixed. I means at off. So Sam, A, the, I. This is a simple explanation of the component. And simple English, it means the mind being focused on one point of object of meditation. The mind remains focused on one point. Now I want to explain the characteristic and function and all the aspect of the samadhi. Samadhi avikipa lakkhana. Avikipa lakkhana, it has characteristic of non-distraction. The mind is not moving out, not wandering. It remains still and calm. Avisara lakkhana. It doesn't wander. The characteristic is not wandering off. Wikibas, being thrown away, being thrown out. The mind being thrown out on various objects in the form of the wandering. This is the word avikipa means. Avisara means not roaming anywhere. Means not. Which means in various ways. Sara means going, not going here and there. This is the characteristic of the samadhi. To simplify these two words, it means that samadhi has the characteristic of not wandering and not roaming here and there. It is a remaining and being focused on the object of meditation. Now the function of the samadhi is mentioned in the commentary. Cheta sikana sambindana so. It has the function of collecting both the mind and mind-related mental formation known as Chaitasika. Chaitasikas are just only various mental states such as feeling angry, feeling restless, and feeling sad, and derising and protesting, complaining, all the various kind of the mental activities. These are Chaitasika. Chaita means mind. Sika means related. Mind-related mental states. Sometimes some meditators, when they study Abhidhamma, they find it difficult to understand. Chaita and Chaitasika are comparable to the lake, main body of the water in the lake and the ocean. The main body of the water is like a Chaita foundation. And the rivers and the waves generated by the winds and by various objects is similar to Chaitasika. The purpose of meditation is to keep the mind calm by reducing the incidence of the mind-related mental waves, mental ripple. Wandering thoughts are just only mental ripple. And feeling different kind of various mental state, feeling bored, feeling restless, feeling sad over something bad which have been in the past, feeling angry over someone, over something, over some condition. All these are ripples and waves of the mind. The purpose of meditation is to calm down those ripples and those waves. It is a very wonderful training and very wonderful spiritual science. In other words, it can be also called mental fitness training. You come here not to do mindfulness practice. You are here to have some mental fitness so that the mind become more healthier, more wholesome, more strong, more energetic. This is a very wonderful training. Once you understand that, you will appreciate every effort you make and every day you stay here. So now let me pick up where I left. Chitta Chetikana Sambindana Rasa. The function of the samadhi is to collect both mind and mind-related mental states. So it means to collectively keep coherent and fun and peaceful together. How wonderful this explanation is. Now another aspect is called the Pichupatthana, general understanding. Chaita Titi Pichupatthana. Samadhi means that the mind remains still and fix on the object of meditation. Aggi did that, calm and fix. In order to understand this, you can compare with the children's toy or a car wheel. A car wheel is much more simpler for people nowadays. When the car wheel start moving on the road, someone outside the car see the wheels revolving in slow motion. But when the car gain the speed and driving in the high speed, and the spoke and all the center of the wheel seem to be still, even though it is moving endlessly in a high revolution. This is what samadhi means. But regarding children's twine, the spinning twine, you used by children in ancient time and earlier time, is very similar. They have to wind up the strings around the base of the spinning twine. They throw the spinning twine on the surface of the earth, and once it falls down, and it starts spinning fast, precariously moving side to side. But when it gains momentum of spinning, it remains stand still, like it is standing, being stuck on the surface of the earth. So samadhi, when it develops, when it gains momentum, it remains calm, still. Wonderful mental states. But this kind of the samadhi happens in every situation. When a person is doing bad thing, this is called the unwholesome samadhi. When someone is doing practicing meditation or doing something good, giving the mind for God, this is a wholesome samadhi. So there are two kinds of samadhi, wholesome and unwholesome. A man who is used to go to fishing, he also has samadhi. On the bank of the lake and river, he just faced the very harsh weather, wearing his warm jackets, and he just focused on catching the fish. In this case, his samadhi is focused on catching the fish, and unwholesome samadhi. If he intended to barbecue, but if he intends to release back, catch and release, it's okay. Very wonderful. So, samadhi can be defined in two categories, wholesome and unwholesome. When you practice meditation, this samadhi you develop is wholesome samadhi. It's very good, wonderful. So these are explanations regarding the detailed aspect of the samadhi. I have already explained the category of the samadhi, three samadhi, and also two samadhi, sambhojjhanga, quoting Buddhist text said by the Buddha. Now, ubbekha sambhojjhanga. Let me explain what ubbekha sambhojjhanga means, what ubbekha means. Ubbekha is a combination of two words, ubba, eka. Ubba means imbalanced way. Eka means seeing in balanced way, seeing and knowing in balanced way, without any intentional effort. This is what Ubbekha means basically. It is interpreted as equanimity or equilibrium of the mind. To make it more understandable, It can be compared to you driving the car. When you are driving the car, when the traffic conditions are smooth, when there is no heavy traffic in front of you, you drive the car effortlessly, especially in the rural countryside road. There's not much car. There's not many cars on the road. You drive on the road with a very calm and unbothered attitude, maintaining regular speed. You are not putting any effort into it. And also, it cannot be said you are not driving the car. You are driving the car, but it is going on smoothly. And another metaphor can be compared to the aeroplane pilot. When the aeroplane reach sufficient amount of the altitude, and pilot start putting his engine on autopilot, and autopilot just manage all the function of the flight. This is what Ubika is like. Now, I would like to explain first the detail, all necessary details explained in Buddhist text. Its characteristic is called, let me go, Patisankhana Lakkhana. Samawahida Lakkhana. Patisankhana Lakkhana means just seeing and knowing it in a balanced way without making intentional effort. Patisankhana. That's what the term Patisankhana means. In other case, Patisankhana means a reflection, but in this case, no reflection. It means just letting it move on, and without making extra effort, or also in that case, he's also not making effort. He make effort actually, but that effort is very much effortless effort. Effort, but not to the lack of effort, like an aeroplane. Even though it is on autopilot, the engine keeps on running. If it stops running, then everybody will perish. So it is very clear. Now, another characteristic mentioned in commentary is called Samawahida Lakkhana. It has the characteristic of maintaining equal mental states. Sama means equal. Wahida means something which is moving on like a chariot. In ancient time, chariots are drawn by horse, 2 horse, 4 horse, or 6 horse, depending on the nature of the chariot. And the charioteer drives the chariot. When all the horse are pulling the chariots equally by making equal gallop and speed together, then charioteer, the driver of chariots, remain calm and peaceful. He may even drink the water, or in today's time, he may drink coffee. He doesn't need to brought any horse, because all the horses are running according to their own regularly maintaining speed and making regular galloping steps. And the chariot is being drawn smoothly. In this case, the charioteer doesn't make any effort. He just enjoying the ride. So in meditator, when Ubeka develops, when certain necessary positive mental states are developed, the meditation itself is automatic. Either he is doing walking meditation or sitting meditation, he doesn't need to make extra intentional effort. The effort is there, but he's not making effort. This is what Ubeka arises, how Ubeka function in meditation. So Samawa Hita Lakana, it has the characteristic of the maintaining equilibrium and equal attitudes toward his effort. Now, Unadika Niwarana Rasa Bakubara Bichira Rata. Ubeka, the moment it arises, it has the function of adjusting regarding the effort. The effort is not lax nor slacking, nor over enthusiastic. This is the function of Ubeka. When Ubeka arises, a meditator doesn't need to slacken down, nor he need to make extra effort. So in this way, he maintains a very balanced, wonderful state of the Viriya and mental attitudes. Another function is called Bakubada Pichira Rada. The meditator doesn't fall to one side. This is the function of the Ubeka, when Ubeka arises. So this does mean Baka Pada Pichira Rada. Baka means to one side. Pada means falling. Pichira means cutting off. The function of Samadhi is cutting off or removing the meditator from falling to any side, both sides in this way. The other side is making extra effort. The other side is just slacking in, loosening his effort. So meditator doesn't do this kind of moving sideways. Instead, it maintains equilibrium. This is the function of Ubeka. Now, the general understanding for people, for meditator, is Mijjada Bhava Pichupatana. Mijjada, Mijja means middle. Da means being in the middle, or maintaining the middle balanced position, central position of not slackening, nor making over enthusiastic extra effort. This is the function, the nature of Ubeka. In Buddhist texts, various kind of Ubekas are explained, but I don't want to talk about those various kind of the Ubeka, because I want to continue explaining Aggi Sutta discourse, so that you can apply your understanding with the daily practice. So, regarding the Samadhi and Ubeka, I have already explained in the Briya Sutta 2 categories of each Bojjhanga. Now let me talk about Aggi Sutta. Aggi means fire, Sutta means discord, the fire discord. In this discord, Buddha compared development of Bojjhanga with the starting and making a fire. Now let me quote what Buddha said. Nam Bekui Padami Sadevgi Logi Samargi Sajnagi Sasamana Jamaniya Jaya Sadiwa Manusaya. Disciple, I don't see in the world among human beings, including divine beings in higher heavens where the Brahma and gods live, among the monastic and the Brahmins who can explain how one should develop these Sambojingas, factors of enlightenment, except by the Buddha, except by the disciple who have learned from the Buddha. This is the beginning statements. One Buddha said, because the monks, they also visit the temple of other monasteries who follow other teachers. They also explain about factors of enlightenment. Please understand that India is full of the many ascetic during ancient times of the Buddha. Whatever Buddha say, they're trying to say it. This way they're trying to imitate the Buddha. When the Buddha say factors of enlightenment, they also say factors of enlightenment. When they say the hindrance, they also say hindrance, but not in as detailed as Buddha explained. And their technique is to confuse people, to assimilate that they are also like the Buddha, and so that they can impress and they can get a following. During that time, Buddha's fame is very much spread over all Indian subcontinent. So they're trying to imitate Buddha and trying to challenge. That's why this problem happens. Then the monks reply about their experience regarding their visit to those ascetic. And Buddha said, disciples, they may not know how to develop these positive mental states to get enlightened, to attain freedom from suffering. Only Buddha or his disciple may be able to explain the way to develop the 7 factors of enlightenment. This is what Buddha wants to say in this initial part of the sutta. Now Buddha continued to explain. Shasamayin bhikkhuve samaye linan chaitan hodi. When there is a time, there's a time when meditator's mind becomes slow and sluggish, and boredom will set in. Boredom may occur, or depression or disheartened spirit, exhaustion may come up. Agalo dasamay samayi basadi sambojengada bhavanaya agalo samari sambojengada sabhavanaya agalo ubikha sambojengada bhavanaya. It is not a time, not a right time to develop pasadi sambojenga. It's not the right time to develop samari sambojenga. It's not a time to develop ubikha sambojenga. Because the mind is sluggish and lukewarm, lost interest, or boredom sets in. Tangita hedu linam bhikkhve chaita. Why this have been? Why it is not the right time to develop this kind of 3 bhujangas? Linam bhikkhve chaita. Disciple, the mind is slow and sluggish, is withdrawn in this case, in weakened state. Tan ede dhamme tu samutha payam hodi. It is difficult to arouse the mind, to motivate that weakened mind by means of these three bhujangas. Now Buddha tells the disciple, metaphor, an analogy expression. Sayadaw Bhikkhve Puriso Praitan Aggi Ojali to Kamo Atsa. Suppose a man would like to make his very small fire into great flame. In that case, so tata anla ni jiwa tinani bakibeya anla nija gomyani bakibeya. He put the green grass into that small fire. He also put cordon, which is still not dry yet. Anla nisa gatani bakibeya. He also put the twigs and pieces of wood which are still dry. He may also put some water, or he may also fan it. Pansuke nacha okiriya. He may even put some dust into it. Pavonu ko sobri so tambritan again. Ojalido. Do you think, disciple, that person will be able to make his small fire into the big one by putting green leaves, green grass, and also green, not dry twigs and pieces of wood, or drying cottons and water? No, he done burn. Lord Buddha, it is impossible because the fire is very small, just only a small amber or a small flame. If you want to make fire, he's wrong by putting green leaves and green branch of the tree and piece of wood and water, and then he trying to fan and blow in order to make a fire burn strongly. Ewa miwa ko bhikkhu yasmin samaye linan jaitan hoti agalo dasmin samaye pasadi sambojingada bhavanaya. In the same way, disciple, when the Marita's mind is slow and sluggish, then it's not time to develop pasadi sambojinga. It's not a time to develop samadhi. It's not a time to develop vibhaka. This means that don't try to keep meditating, to keep the mind focused at that time. Also, don't give up right away. Also, don't develop the disregard or complete suspension of the action. Because the slow and sluggish mind cannot be motivated by these three sambojingas. Jasmin jago vigwe samaye linan jaitan hodi kalo tasmin samaye dhamma vijaya sambojingasa bhavanaya kalo uriya sambojingada bhavanaya kalo piti sambojingasa bhavanaya. Buddha gave the recommendation to motivate the lukewarm and disheartened and depressed mind and bored mind in the meditation training. Disciple, when the mind is slow and sluggish, it's dying to develop the Dhammavijaya Sambhojinga. It's time to develop Viriya Sambhojinga. It's time to develop Piti Sambhojinga. So Buddha said 3 Bhojingas are necessary. But I want to explain because it is a very delicate matter. Very delicate matter. The first Bhojinga you have to develop is Piti Sambhojinga. This is very important. You cannot make effort right away. Otherwise, the mind will freak out. The mind will have a big problem. Like the child who doesn't want to do something, you cannot push too much. You have to explain the child why it is necessary to take this medicine. Because he's suffering and constant coughing or fever. In this case, a mother must not force feed. Otherwise, the child will cry. The child will cry and protest. In the same way, a mother needs to persuade the child by saying, this is a very wonderfully beverage and sweet taste. Drink it, you will be happy and you can play like before. Only after making such kind of gentle persuasion, one can give the necessary medicine and necessary thing to the child. In the same way, a meditator needs to develop Piti Sambhojinga. This Piti Sambhojinga is not something which happens spontaneously, like those Pitis I have explained earlier. Those Pitis I have explained earlier are spontaneous occurrence. They are not intentionally created. They are consequence of accumulated valence positive mental states after a long and steady hard work of a meditator. Here in this regard, at this point, this Piti Sambhojinga is to be induce Piti. How to induce the Piti? How to induce joy? You have to reflect on your wonderful privilege. Your health is still good. You can move on your own. No walking stick necessary. No cognition problem regarding your mind. No other serious health problem that keep you hamper your training, that keep you restrict to practice meditation. And your family members also agree with you to practice meditation after taking off some amount of time in the retreat center. And also other factors are very supportive factors. You just think about these wonderful conditions. If you reflect on such wonderful privilege you have as a human being, living in life, living in the world as a human being, having healthy body condition, supportive social environment, and also having good condition, general condition, then you must know this is an opportunity to make the best use of. Because we are not living on permanent basis. Our time in the world as a human being is very much limited. As long as we have a good karma, as long as we have a remaining lifespan, and we can remain alive. Even that is precarious. In case something, especially serious health problem arise, we cannot. For example, if a person reach 50, the body starts showing its wear and tear. The eyesight getting weaker, the hearing also getting weaker, and some significant health problems start coming up if you are not careful enough for your health. If you don't pay proper attention and proper care to your body, and the body will start showing its sign of getting older and many health problems. Then it will be a problem to meditate. In the advancing age, especially when you are past 60 or 70, and memories are also becoming problem. Mental cognition, mental alertness, also problem. You need support all the time. So think about all these things, and also think about how wonderful to receive the mindfulness training is. Mindfulness is a very wonderful mental tool to train the mind so that a strong and resilience and vibrant mind develops. Not only that, if a person made a sufficient amount of progress and practice, there will be a mental state which is near enlightenment. The ability to see, to accept things that everything, mental phenomena, physical phenomena, everything one experience in life, everyone, everything around oneself, they are all subject to rising and passing away. They are not permanent. Even once existing in the life is not permanent. It's a temporary. One's relationship with the family members are not permanent contract. They are temporary contract, temporary relation. Once you understand that, you know to appreciate Buddha's teaching and this mindfulness training. Mindfulness training can be used as a medicine, as a mental tool, as a companion. In many ways, you can use it once you are skilled and practice of it. You can practice even when you go back to your home to recharge your mind, to overcome emotion, to cope with difficult situation, to maintain normalcy of the mind. There are many things to reflect regarding meditation, regarding your wonderful life and wonderful privilege. And you just need to be inspired and be joyous. This way you induce the wonderful joy and wonderful appreciation. Then you can start practicing by strong motivation and with a sense of joy and appreciation. This is what you need to do and get the mind become disenchanted or bored with the practice. May all of you be able to properly apply Buddha's recommendation. And this, according to this sutta, may you progress in your practice and may you be successful in your spiritual training.